Hello everyone, welcome back to the Thousand Year Door. My name is Meshi and I exist purely on Monster Pipeline Punch flavor. So for some of you who may know, I just got back from Lamb of God, so I've been recuperating my voice over the course of the past few days, so let's carry on to the Pit of 100 Trials. This ought to be really fun. I haven't done this in fucking forever. So this should be a good time. Look at that, we already got to the first floor. I'm a mover. I know a few things about getting through this dungeon. For a few coins, I can move you. Where do you want to go? Okay, so yeah, like, this guy can move you down a couple floors if you pay him, but we're not gonna pay any guy that we just met for weird seedy services, so we're actually just gonna go down the pipe. He's only really best used when it's really desperate. A lot of these enemies that you can, encounter, you can kill very, very quickly and very easily on these first starting levels. It's only later that it becomes really, really nightmarish, because everything way later on starts getting a lot of defense and a lot of crazy shit. So, unfortunately, we don't have coops. Actually, you know what? Let's transition over to coops. This will be a little bit easier. I can just power shell these guys to death. Save a bunch of FP. Normally I like to use Vivian for everything, but Vivian might not be very good for these starting floors. Honestly, she's gonna take up a little bit too much FP. Yeah, so Mastodon and Lamb of God were great. The Mighty Mastodon was fucking insane. They played Leviathan all the way through, and it was incredible. And they topped off with Steam Breather, which was awesome. It was a great choice. They had some of the best visuals for a concert I think I've ever seen before. And Lamb of God was fucking nuts. Like, Lamb of God was actually intense as shit. There was a giant circle pit, and there was a wall of death, and I got to mosh around a lot, and we were, like, picking up people that were stumbling and falling over in the pit, so it was a really good time. And as always, I threw a compilation up on YouTube, so if you guys want to see how the concert went, or if you want to see little snippets of it, I also have a compilation of metal screams throughout the show, so it was a very good time, honestly. Funny story, I got quite a bit of heat stroke mid-Lamb of God set, and I threw up in a Jack-in-the-Box parking lot post-show. I had quite a bit to drink, and I didn't have enough water, so it was kind of just like a giant sweaty pit full of people. It was pretty crazy. So yeah, I ended up herking in a fucking Jack-in-the-Box parking lot. But I feel like if you don't do that, you're not, like, truly living life, you know what I mean? Like, if you're not willing to throw up in a couple Jack-in-the-Box parking lots, like, that's typically, like, a regular Tuesday for them, right? Not to be discourteous to my service workers, I love the fuck out of all of you. You all are incredible, but I think Lamb of God and throwing up post-show is a little bit better. I really wanted to get a Ashes of Leviathan shirt, but I didn't have enough money because I was between jobs. I bought my tickets, like, forever ago. Awesome show, though. I would definitely do it again. It's not my first time seeing Lamb of God, and it certainly won't be my fucking last for sure. And I think Randy was saying that he wanted to tour for at least 5 more years, so I think they got another record in them, maybe 2, before, like, Randy hangs it up. But he's definitely one of my most cherished pioneers of metal. It was a really, really fun show. And oddly enough, I actually saw them at the same venue that I saw them at the first time I went to go see them. Which is kind of odd, really. Oh, that's unfortunate. The fuzz. It's okay. We've never been afraid of the fuzz. We've never been afraid of getting our hands dirty. Also, I gotta not be afraid to use my FP, so Vivian's attack is gonna be a little bit less costly, so let's just use Vivian's attack. Okay, I did really terrible that round. Still 3. This Gloom is gonna take a little bit of work to kill, but he shouldn't be anything major. I have to get better at, like, recognizing and noticing the colors for the buttons. So, Pit of 100 Trials is kind of the reason that I run a lot of regeneration. So, a lot of HP regen, a lot of FP regen, there's a reason that I play like that. And this kind of teaches you that. So one of the things about this game is everybody tends to go just really high damage output, and it's not really necessary. If you know how the game works. Like, if you know how the game operates, it's really not all that bad. Or you can fuck up like me and do a somersault, and the guy will be like, why is this guy just doing flips? Is he doing a TikTok video, or, like, what's going on? So Vivian's attacks should burn and kill the stupid fucking dry bones. I had to think about what they were called for a minute. Okay, I'm getting a little bit better. I gotta remember B is yellow. I wish they would have actually color coordinated. If they would have color coordinated, that actually would have helped me out a little bit. So, like, I think A should be green, and I think B should be red, and stuff like that. But it's kind of weird, because when you think back to the GameCube controller, like, B was red, A was green, and then X and Y were both gray. So it's like, I don't think that would, like, correlate to X and Y, but it would certainly help be able to get the attack off, like, easier. Okay, we don't need the Voltrum. I'm not worried about the Voltrum. It's not like any of these early beginning enemies are going to touch me anyway, so I'm not entirely all that concerned. That being said, though, I haven't done this for years, so I can't remember how bad the later floors get. I remember what the final boss of it is, because there is a boss down here, and it's kind of a secret one, but I don't remember it being all that bad, honestly. And I'm pretty sure with my damage output, given that we're at the very end of the game, I'm pretty sure I can stomach it, whatever it is. Because after this, we're going to be heading into the Palace of Shadows, so... I have to remember for the later fights to use my star ability too, because that's going to make the difference of life or death. Quite literally sometimes. So, there is one thing I will mention about the Pit of 100 Trials. You want to make sure you're absolutely fucking stacked. So as you can see here, I have many maple syrups for FP regeneration. I have a lot of jelly ultras. I have some ultra shrooms just in case. And I also raised my HP a little bit to accommodate for that. I also have some whack-a-bumps, so you want to make sure that you come stock to the fucking nines. Like, this is basically, like, if you're going to go assault Russia, you want to make sure you have missiles, you want to make sure you have grenades, bulkheads, you want to make sure you have rifles, and you want to make sure you have SMGs, and you want to make sure you have claymores. Like, you want to come stock to the nines. Like, you want to make sure that you're, like, in it to win it, for sure. And the life shrooms are more just like an insurance policy. But instead of being regular mushrooms, they're like mushrooms in business suits with a name like Weinstein. Because they're gonna save your fucking life. I almost had it that time. God damn it. It's also kind of crazy that they give you a clear bonus now. So it's kind of weird that they give you more coins, because, like, coins burst out of the enemies that you kill, right? So it almost seems like they've raised the price of certain items, maybe? Or maybe certain services? So they've had to compensate for that. In a bit of a weird way. So there is one more gimmick to the Pit of 100 Trials that I think everybody should know about. So when you descend through the Pit of 100 Trials, you actually obtain badges that are exclusive and unique to this place. And some of them are some of the best badges in the game, and then some of them are really, really poopy, and you don't need them for anything at all, and they're completely just ignorable. And they're not really Game of the Year contenders. But some of the badges that you get down here, like, I think we get another fire drive, that is going to come in muy handy. Especially for the Palace of Shadow. Because there's a lot of dry bones in there, and I think there's a dark bones as well, and stuff like that. The downside to that is Fire Drive starts taking about like 12 or 13 FP to use. But the goal is if you can max your FP regeneration, you only really need about 30. Alright, so here we are at the 10th floor. So we got another Sleepy Stomp. So I don't know, there's actually something I'm kind of curious about with Sleepy Stomp, honestly. I'm curious... Wearing 2 or more of these badges causes the enemy to stay asleep for longer. Okay, I wanted to know if it, like, made the enemy stay asleep for longer, or if it upped the, potential of the sleep effect proccing. Yeah, so this guy will send you a whole bunch of items, but they are all absolutely exorbitantly priced, so you don't really need to buy anything from him. And I think his name is Charlatan. But you don't really need any gear from him. Honestly, if you come in well prepared enough and equipped enough, you really shouldn't have any issues. I really gotta stop trying to do that jump on enemies, because it's not going to work. I always think it's going to work, and it just won't. Alrighty then, okay. See, we can't knock him out of the air, and I can't use Fire Drive either. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna Fiery Jinx everybody. Okay, that killed the Pokies. Alright. I didn't think that would kill them in 4. Shit. Also, you know what? I think Sleepy Stomp only uses 1 FP, doesn't it? Because if that's the case, you know what I might want to start doing is I might want to just start Sleepy Stomping everything. Because I think I'm going to do the same amount of damage, but I'm going to get the proc of a stomp for sleep, so... Let me see what I can ditch. I think I can ditch a close call. I think I'm okay with that. You're also going to get a ton of levels in here, mainly toward the end. Because floor 70 onward have variants of enemies that you don't really get to see in the main game, I think. Okay, this is something we're gonna want Coops for. We're gonna need Shell Slam for this, I think. I don't know how much health these fuckers have, and I really don't want to test boundaries, so... We're gonna take the free FP recovery. Let's go with Coops. But yeah, like, nothing else major has really happened. The Gamescom showcase, Borderlands 4. So, for a lot of you that are returning to my channel, I've played pretty much every Borderlands game, except for the, Tales series of Borderlands games, which I'm really excited to play at some point. I've been a very, very big Borderlands fan for fucking years, and I think I've told the story before about how I was in a GameStop one time, and, I came across Borderlands, and I picked it up thinking it looked really unique and, like, really interesting and weird. And I thought it was too abstract. Like, I thought it was too... It was just too outlandish. And I set it back on the shelf, and then, my friend Titus came over one day. And, he was playing a game on my 360, because he knew I had an Xbox. And I was like, oh, this looks cool, what is this? And he's like, oh, you've never heard of this game? This is Borderlands. And I was like, oh, this is that game that I saw in that store. This looks sick. And he's like, oh, do you want to play it with me? Like, it's co-op. And I was like, hell yeah, I want to play it. So, like, I learned it was a gun and run RPG kind of game. And I thought that was freaking sick. And I spent a lot of time with the series, and little did I know it would become one of my most appreciated RPGs of all time. And I played Borderlands 1, like, into the ground, like, 50,000 times over. And, I really became infatuated with its, rustic appearance and the musical direction. Nothing else about the game was all that crazy or anything like that. Like, I honestly do believe that Borderlands 1 could do with an absolute overhaul, like a complete remake, to fit into the broader, trilogy, quadrilogy, whatever. But yeah, like, it became one of my favorite games of all time. And then, around my birthday, when my grandmother was still alive, bless her fucking soul, she took me out on my birthday when Borderlands 2 first released, which released very, very close to my birthday, and she bought me and my friend a copy to play together. So yeah, thank you to my grandmother, Ruth, you are fucking incredible. I miss you every day. But yeah, I loved Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2 was freaking phenomenal. It was miles better than the first one. It was infinitely more vibrant. It was much more definitive. Like, it felt like it was a bit more, like, out there in terms of color scheme and everything. Like, the vibrancy was just absurd. And it was almost like they were two entirely different games. But, like, that's where Borderlands really started to shine for me, is Borderlands 2. And then, many, many, many years later, like, no fucking joke, many years later, probably about, like, 6 or 7 years later, Borderlands 3 released. And Borderlands 3 took so long to come out, but Borderlands 3 was so good. I hated the fucking story, I hated the villains, I hated the characters, but, like, it introduced some of the best characters I think I've ever seen before. Like, Pain and Terror, I thought was an awesome idea. And, like, the whole chasing down the giant, what was it, Carnivora? That thing was awesome. And then Lilith got a lot more character definition in the third one, I think. I really don't like the way that feels on the Switch. Like, it just doesn't feel right. Like, when you undo the stick, it doesn't do the action immediately. It's like you have to do it ahead of time, but if you do it ahead of time, it won't register. It's really weird, like, the way they depict it. But yeah, I really enjoyed my time with Borderlands 3, and I feel like Borderlands 3 exploratively did a lot of really awesome ideas that I can't wait to see driven to the 9 in Borderlands 4. Such as the takedowns and the events and everything like that, and all the crazy optional goodie stuff and like the free updates they added. I really hope they do DLC Vault Hunters again this time around, because I do honestly feel like the replayability factor for Borderlands 3 really suffered in that regard. Other desires for Borderlands 3 is I hope they also release a forced skill tree for every Vault Hunter, which I know is a very tall ask, it's a very big ask, and I really hope they reintroduce pearlescent weapons, but actually make them worth trying to get. They also need to bring the concept of Seraphim weapons back, and they need to have just as many raid bosses and stuff like that, and optional takedowns and crap. And they need to do their 4 DLCs, no more of that Tiny Tina's Wonderlands crap. Because that shit was awful, I'm not gonna hold you. The Wonderlands DLC was not good. I also wish, like, when Borderlands makes DLCs, I wish they would quit reskinning enemies from the base game. That is one of my biggest complaints, that's one of my biggest issues. I want definitive, unique enemies that are entirely unique to the DLC. And I feel like Borderlands 3 did that really well. There's such a thing as giving regular enemies from the main game weird little quirks and stuff like that, like weird little abilities and shit. And then there's making entirely new enemies. Like really unique Varkids to the DLC would be really cool. The things from the Xylorgos DLC, I can't remember what the hell they're called, but like the Wendigo and all those weird little creatures or whatever that you have to go like harvest to get parts from or whatever. Like they need more of those things. Those kind of elements I think really make the game more full and actually makes it feel like additional content worth purchasing and pursuing. And I also like how the Borderlands DLC was tied to its cast. That's one of the things that I thought was fucking awesome. Like, Moxie's Jackpot delved into Timothy and Handsome Jack's backstory, and his relationship to Moxie and how manipulative and conniving he was, and just how truly assholish he was as a person, and I thought exploratively that was really good. And I liked how the Hammerlock and Wainwright DLC for Guns, Love, and Tentacles delved into their relationship and everything, and their honeymoon and like their wedding and everything like that. I thought that was super, super cool conceptually. And it's so weird because I can never remember the remaining 2 Borderlands 3 DLCs. There's always 1 or 2 that I forget and I can't remember them, and I don't know why. It's just, I guess they weren't really all that memorable. One of them was the Wild West DLC, and that had Rose as a villain, and I really liked Rose cosmetically, and I think she had the great personification of like a Wild West gunslinger, but I hated the fucking story. I thought the story was uber shit, and I thought the final boss was kinda too. And then I can't remember what the other DLC was. So yeah, my advice to make Borderlands 4 good is really focus on how you want to build the rarity loot system. Give us something to farm for endgame. Do what you did with Borderlands 3, where you release a lot of free updates and events to keep people engaged and interested while you roll out the content for it. I fucked that up also. That was incredibly stupid of me. Entirely my fault. I'm not gonna even act like it wasn't. I pressed the wrong fucking button because I'm not very smart. Yeah, let's just take a mulligan for that. But we need stuff like the Maliwan takedown. We need a takedown for Vladov. We need a takedown for either all the corporations, or there needs to be more involvement with the other corporations. We have not seen anything on Vladov. We have not seen really much on Tedior. We've seen a lot from Hyperion. And what else have we seen a lot from? I'm just gonna defend on this turn. There's gotta be some other things, like, there's gotta be some other manufacturers that I really want. We got a little bit of backstory on Maliwan, and a little bit of background on Maliwan. But yeah, like, I think we need Tedior. We also have, like, a lot of background on, Torg as well. So I feel like exploratively, it makes sense to explore a little bit of Moses' homeworld, or, like, hometown, with the Vladov Corporation. And, like, the way that they operate and the way that they do things. We also got the revival of Atlas in Borderlands 3, headed by Reese. So, like, I feel like Borderlands 4 has a lot of cool things to, explore. And my friend and I were theorizing, because we're both very huge Borderlands fans. Oh, nice. I didn't know we got Fire Drive this fucking early. I would have done this ages ago. Holy crap. One of the Vault Hunters is very, very, very likely going to be a Guardian. Or some mix of Guardian DNA or something like that. Like, we're theorizing that it's going to be a gimmick of one of the Vault Hunters, and it makes sense. And I think logically, it's just like the right way to do something. Okay, let's see in the next battle how much our new Fire Drive takes. It's going to do considerably more damage. It's going to do about 10 or 11 damage, but it's going to be a hefty wallop of FP, pretty much. But I'm kind of curious to see how much it'll cost. This is a perfect place to test it, too. And we should have the FP to make it doable. So let's give it a shot. 18, Jesus fuck. Okay, that's far more than I thought. Alright. Good to know. I should have gone for more FP. I don't know why I didn't. I guess I had it in my mind that it would cost a lot less. I thought it was going to be somewhere around 11 or 12 FP. Damn, that's, really unfortunate. Okay, though. I think we can deal with that. I think that's fine. We have Sleepy Stomp for our more dangerous targets. Okay, I didn't press B in time. I didn't super guard that. And then, while I'm here, I want to give a very, very, very huge thank you to my friend Zarif, who funded Black Myth for me. It's been one of my most anticipated games of all time for the longest time. And he was kind enough to fund it for me, so when we get around to playing it, do be sure to thank him, because it was super fucking awesome of him to do. I'm so looking forward to playing that game. It looks majestic, from the combat, to the scenes, to the artwork, and, like, the presentation, like, the vibrancy, the environments. Like, it just looks like a AAA masterpiece, so I can't wait to play that. Okay, we have bandits now. That's interesting. I don't remember the bandits coming until way later. So, the bandits, as their name implies, they kind of just steal shit from you. I don't know if I have enough FP for it. I will if we get the, Oh, okay, we got HP, so we might do it on the next round. I wanted to see how much my Fire Drive would do in terms of damage, but we're not going to get the opportunity here, because I don't have the FP for it. But the bandits, as their name implies, they steal items, but ones later can steal badges and shit, so you gotta be really careful with them, because they can steal some really good stuff from you. And I don't think they can steal things that you have equipped, but they can steal things that you don't. And I think on top of that, they can only steal particular badge types. Like, I think they can only steal, HP pluses, FP pluses, and power pluses, and stuff like that. Maybe not power pluses, because there's only a certain amount of those you can get in the game, I think. So that one might be a little bit off the table, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Okay, so there is 100 floors to the Pit of 100 Trials, again, as its name implies, and we're on floor 22. So we're about a fifth of the way there, and if we take advantage of the mover later, we're going to be able to do this in about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. But once you get past floor 50, maybe 55, 60, that's kind of where it starts to get a little bit hairy, and you got to be a little bit careful with what you want to do and where you want to do it. So for this right here, these are Lakitus. I'm definitely going to use the power lift here, just for this particular fight, because it's going to be an absolute bitch if I don't. And I'm not that gullible, and I'm not that dumb, and I'm not that overconfident, because I'm not that good of a gamer. And we are going to go with a Giga attack boost for this. 4, that's good. I'm okay with 4. That should be plenty. She should be doing about 7 or 8 damage, maybe 9. And that should kill all of them very easily. Unless I fuck up this action command really bad. Okay, I didn't fuck it up that bad. 7? Alright. That was enough. I gotta get a little bit quicker at doing that, but I'm not confident with the buttons yet. Oh, I did, however, get the other super appeal badge that I wanted, so now I can show you guys how my build works, essentially. And there are a few more super appeals in the game, I think, but I don't know where they are or how to get them, like, I don't remember. I think super appeal is one of those stealable badges from enemies, but I could be wrong. Okay, so I'm not gonna do it this fight, because we have some bob-ombs. I don't think we're gonna need to boost Vivian's attack power for this. I think we'll be good, unless I really severely fuck this action command up. Bam. Yeah, so the great thing about the bob-ombs is you can insta-murder them if you have fire, which is good. Which is, again, why Fire Drive is so good. It's good for dry bones, and it's good for bob-ombs. The only thing Fire Drive really sucks at is you can't hit flying enemies with it. And Hammer Throw is just a garbage badge, so we don't talk about Hammer Throw because it's dog shit. Why did they implement this fucking knock feature? This knock feature is so fucking stupid. It's a good idea, it's just poorly designed. Like, it's not well implemented. Like, I think if the restrictions on it were a little bit more strict, like, it could be really good, but I feel like their execution of it is not great. Twitch always does that, though. They always do a lot of really poor integrations, and then they wait to fix them for like 3 months after people complain about them. If they ever do fix them. Oh, I love their cute little fighting stance. That's cute, how you guys think you have a chance against me. I'm going to murder burn the shit out of all of you with power lift. But yeah, like, Mastodon was really crazy, and Lamb of God was good as always. So Mastodon played through, like, all of their album Leviathan for their 20th anniversary. And I actually learned something really cool. So apparently, Leviathan was recorded here in Seattle. That's number 1. Number 2, apparently Ashes of the Wake and Leviathan both released on the same fucking day, which is, like, ridiculous. And that's so cool. So that's kind of how their tour came together. And it makes sense, because, like, they're both 2 of the mightiest metal bands to ever exist, so that's great. To be fair, I told them I was going to burn them to death. They didn't listen, that's not my fault. They were threatening me. Ooh, what is that? Oh, it's an ice storm. I don't need an ice storm. I have firestorm. Alright, so the good news is we're about a third of the way there, so this isn't gonna take us as long as I thought. Granted, I've already been up for like 40 minutes. It's not really that bad. I wish they would give me flower recovery badges instead of these fucking HP pluses. I really don't need those. They're so useless for me. I also want an opportunity to use this goddamn fire drive, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to use it for like 20 years. That's not good. Oh, he's not dead because he has an HP plus. But that would mean that it's for his partner, not for him, right? Oh man, I thought I hit that. You fucking piece of shit. Are you joking? You bitch. I mean, I don't care about the damage. The health refill will get me. I don't really care about that. Like, look at that regeneration. Holy shit, I just healed like half the damage he did to me. And honestly, the humorous thing is I'm not even fully spec'd out yet. Like, I'm not fully decked. He's still alive? God damn it. You're a tough little bastard, I'll give you that. Get out of here, dude. So, the badge that you get for completing this dungeon, a lot of people don't really use because they don't really see a lot of benefit to it. And the thing is there really is no benefit to it unless you get it during, like, Chapter 6. If you get it during Chapter 6, it can be very beneficial, and it is possible. It is doable, I'm not going to lie to you. It just requires a very finessed badge setup, and it requires knowledge of how the game works and how the enemies work. And it's a little bit sketchy to do, even if you are fully content with your knowledge of the game. I don't know why the fuck that's hitting me. I'm definitely guarding right there. Okay, then. But yeah, I could have done the Pit of 100 Trials a lot earlier, but, like, we're doing it penultimate, the final chapter, so, like, it makes the most sense to do it now, rather than do it later, after the game is already completed. And the stuff we'll get from here will support us in the Palace of Shadow, for sure. And I talk about the Palace of Shadow like it's some big, infinitely scary void of darkness, and it is, but, like, it's not as bad as I make it out to be. It's not really all that terrible at all. It's like a little dog shit, but it's not, like, super bad or anything. Okay, so, just so you guys can get an idea of what Super Appeal does, check this out. Watch the star meter. Absolutely knuckin' fudds. It's so stupid. In just one turn of appealing, you can get 3 nodes of star power back. It's fucking stupid. Oh, that was the one! Oh my god, they gave it to me, motherfucker. Damn it. They gave it to me and I still flubbed it. Crap. It's okay, now they won't do any damage to me, so I literally have nothing to worry about. I'm more so annoyed that the, stupid fucking Boo used his invisibility cloak shit. Huh. That's what you get for stealing my fucking money, IRS. Why did I do that? I know he's invisible. Why did I do that? Because I'm not paying attention, that's why. Too busy thinking about how much I hate the IRS. I'm Italian, you think I would get some sort of reparation for them, like, bastardizing and demonizing my culture, right? Wait, you think all of us just do nothing but eat mushrooms and spaghetti and talk funny? Where the fuck's my compensation for your harmful depictions of my people? Even though Mario isn't actually Italian, he's from New York, but we're not gonna talk about that. They just make you think he's Italian for some reason, I don't know why. And it's weird because, like, if you watch the old Nintendo videos, he says it's amore. That, like, he sings in Italian. It's like, what the fuck? If Mario's not Italian, where the fuck did he go to college? What kind of courses did he take? You know? If we're supposed to believe that this guy is from New York, why isn't he fucking plumbing all the time? Although maybe that's a harmful stereotype of a New Yorkan, right? All of them drive taxis and fix pipes and deliver pizzas and complain about people on the sidewalk and shit. I don't know, but like when I think about New Yorkans or people from New York, I think about mafia members, and I don't know why. Because you feel like the mob would be more closely associated with Italian people than it would be from like New Yorkans, but like, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I think relativity is like a very dangerous slope. Okay, let's see. I have a really fun story for when we hit floor 50, but it's going to be a little bit of an arduous slog, so bear with me. I'm also going to have to split this up into fucking parts. Or I'm going to have to make it one gigantic 2-hour-long part, or something like that. I might do that and just forewarn people that it's Pit of 100 Trials, so only watch it if you really, really want to. It's entirely skippable. I might just include an annotation, like I might split off the boss fight from it. I think that's, yeah, you know what, I think that's how I'll do it. I think what I'll do is I'll go through the whole thing, record the whole thing, upload it as one part, and then upload the boss fight as a separate video. I think that's what I'll do. And then I'll just leave it as an unnumbered part. I think that's how I'll do it. Okay, what's our next badge? What's next on the agenda? What do we get? Zap Tap. Okay, Zap Tap is a cool badge, but it's not something that we need. So again, a lot of the badges that you get within the Pit of 100 Trials are better suited for progressing through the game, rather than being got at the very end of the game. So that's kind of where I feel like they fucked up with Pit of 100 Trials a little bit, in a way. That's kind of brutal. I thought I went into a hammer swing, but I guess I didn't, even though I'm pretty sure I did, but okay. Okay. So something I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna absolutely sleepy stomp the fuck out of this motherfucker. This guy needs to be asleep. That guy's a bitch. He needs to die. Literally ASAP. He's gonna be asleep for 7 fucking turns, which should give me ample time to be able to get rid of these parabuzzies. Good. I don't respect those purple dudes. Okay, they are really hard to time, I guess. So, I need a character like Goombella, but I really don't want to pull her out. Spin Jump will be very handy for these things. And I was gonna say, I should be able to hit through their defense at least a little bit. So we're just gonna have to do this one at a time, because I don't have any way to take them out quickly. So for the people that were curious about Black Myth, I feel like I should go into that a little bit. We're gonna be starting Black Myth post Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. And Shadow of the Erdtree is going to be coming very, very soon. So for those who aren't up to date, my second Elden Ring series is fully completed. We did every memory boss, every fragment, whatever, all legendary souls, whatever the fuck. The only one I did not do on screen was Fortisax. But I went and took care of Fortisax, I ran through Rowney's questline, blah blah blah. I got Black Knife out of the way, so now I have his Spirit Ashes, and we'll probably be making very heavy use of those. And we're going to be doing Shadow of the Erdtree DLC next stream, so I'm very excited for that. It's been a very long time coming. I know I'm about 3 months late to the Shadow of the Erdtree. The only thing that I've had spoiled for me, unfortunately, is I've seen the final boss. I don't know what his moveset is, but I know it's Radon. It's like a younger, more crazy, like super rambunctious, ultra ridiculous Radon. So I know that, but that's the only thing that I know going in, for sure. Okay, this is a little bit better of a setup right here, because what we're gonna do is we're going to do a spin jump on this motherfucker, we're gonna knock him upside down, and then we're going to do a shell slam with Cooper, or Coops, or Koopy, whatever his name is. And we're gonna slam the fuck out of some bros. I like how he's surprised that we won. That's adorable. So yeah, Black Myth will be coming post Elden Ring DLC. So, as I always do, I'm going to have absolutely no assistance, no help, no warning of what's to come, no sort of direction, no nothing. Like, I don't want to know where spells are, I don't want to know strategies for enemies, any of that kind of shit. So, like, Shadow of the Erdtree is going to be a very fun time. I am a little bit worried, though, because I've heard the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC does not fuck around, and that's pretty atypical for Souls-likes, or Souls games in general, is the DLC is a little bit of a step up from the main game. But it's weird because people have said that about other Souls game DLCs, and I've felt like I've done pretty adequate, or like more than adequate, so we'll see how Elden Ring goes, but I've heard it's kinda nightmarish. I've heard there's a lot of beamy, crazy hyper laser shit, and there's a lot of crazy AoE effects and stuff, and that kinda has me worried. So I've said it before, and I definitely go into it in my post-Elden Ring playthrough, like, rant about how the game was constructed, is certain ways that they program enemies just don't seem all that fair. Like, it seems like they program them a little bit ludicrously, and I don't really find it all that valid a lot of the time. And I can't help but feel like they've probably pushed that up to the thousands in the DLC, so, like, that has me a little bit concerned, a little bit worried. But, like, I'm sure we'll play it by ear, we'll see when we get there, we'll see how bad it is, and we'll gauge it, and we'll judge it for ourselves, and we'll figure it out. Either way, we'll figure it out. Are these the tornado ones that make you dizzy? I feel like they are. Okay, we need to use a shell slam right here to ignore some defense. That guy, yeah, I was gonna say, they should have 7, so he should still be barely alive. I cannot get the timing for that. That's right, though, we have HP regen, so we already healed half the damage he did. And again, this is kind of why I prefer to run regen rather than having ludicrously high numbers, because, like, if you know how the game works, and you know how to set yourself up for success, you don't really have to worry about it all that much. So, back when I used to play this when I was a kid, I used to stock a lot into BP and FP, and then I realized I only really need, like, 5 levels in FP, and then, like, the rest of the game, it's like, okay, I just want to go really high BP, and then I want to go, like, moderate HP. And, like, everything is fine. Because, like, everything that you can get after battle. The enemies programmed bosses aren't programmed to be unfair, they're just much tougher. Are you talking about the base game, or are you talking about the DLC? With a few exceptions. It's just like, to me, the way Elden Ring was programmed is just not very good for a video game. So I've gone into it at length that, like, the appeal to me for, hold on. The appeal for me to From Software games was being able to understand and dissect enemy patterns and pick and choose your openings and everything like that. And it felt like with Elden Ring, it was just ludicrous. Like, it felt like the enemy wombo combo stuff. Like, an enemy will swing at you like 15 times before you get the chance to do anything without getting punished. And a lot of the AoE shit is just, like, absolutely batshit. Like, there's so many things that you get, like, sucked up or caught up in, and you just can't get out of. And, like, I think it's a little bit wacky with Elden Ring, so, like, I feel like it's a bit of a different game. Like, it was just tailored and tackled in a very different way. Yeah, but, like, a higher difficulty curve is to be expected, I think, and I don't want to say that I've ever really struggled with Souls DLCs all that much. So I'm kind of intrigued to see the way they do it in Elden Ring, because Elden Ring is such a different experience compared to every other FromSoft game that I've played. So I'm kind of curious to see how they tackle it in the DLC. I'm mouth typoing a lot today, holy shit. Well, like, I'm very excited for it because I've heard some of the best boss fights in the game are there, so. Okay, these purple turtles are shit. Why did I think these purple turtles were super tough for some reason? Weird. Okay. Yeah, but, like, Commander Niall has a lot of stuff that I don't like. A lot of the Wind Knights. Like, honestly, in terms of Elden Ring, it's more so the basic enemies that kind of piss me off, and it's the later game higher difficulty curve enemies that are, like, a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more wacky. People complain about it because they made them realize they weren't as good at these games as they thought. I feel like that's partly true. The other part of me wants to say that they just ramped it up to, like, critical levels because they knew that people were able to no-hit these games and stuff like that. And they want their games to be notoriously difficult. So because people were kind of subverting that expectation of difficulty, they kind of cranked it to the 9s, pretty much. And they were just like, oh, you think our game was easy? Okay, we'll take a look at this shit that we made, pretty much. And my friend Grand has described it as kind of a build Andy game, and I kind of agree with him in that regard. Is that, like, the way they've erected and constructed everything is, like, they expect you to have some sort of, like, circus bag of tricks to be able to get through a lot of the shit that they do. Like, for example, like, okay, this boss has a move that you have to dodge exactly at this direction, at this exact time, at this exact angle, and stuff like that. And, like, to be fair, there's always been an inherent skill to From Software games, and that's where a lot of people struggle. Is they expect the game to eventually break down and give them some leniency and give them some leeway, but, like, that's not what those games are about. Those games are about improvement. They're about understanding what you're doing wrong. They're about adaptation and self-critical control. And, like, learning how to get around different, different things, right? So it's kind of about the conditioning, I think. And I feel like Elden Ring strips away a certain layer of that conditioning where it felt valid, and it makes it feel a little bit more invalid, and that's kind of what I don't like. Okay, this is gonna be a really annoying fight, I think. Oh, actually, no, it won't. I have an idea. No, I do this very, very rarely, but I'm gonna pull out Flurry here, because Flurry is actually, for once, gonna fucking come in handy. Believe it or not. I never use this fucking partner, ever. And it's because she's so stupid. Like, her ability is so fucking niche that it's like you hardly ever need it. Oh my god, really? I thought it was gonna work for all of them. Uh-oh. That's not good. I fucking blocked. Cunt. Stupid flying turtle parabuzzy bastard. I really wish I had, multi-bounce. Might as well use Sleepy Stomp. I was gonna say, it's either gonna die or it's gonna be asleep. I don't want it to use that Dizzy Dial on me because that's just gonna prolong this fucking fight. I should have used Lip Lock on it, honestly, because that's not gonna do anything to it. Yeah, but, like, I like Elden Ring, I just don't like it as much as I like some of the other From Software games. I think Dark Souls 3 is actually probably, unironically, my favorite. Because, like, I like Dark Souls 1's world design a lot, I love it, but it's not defined enough. Like, the bosses aren't good enough in Dark Souls 1 for me to love that game. As much as I loved it to begin with. Demon Souls is too easy and holds none of the challenge. Okay, that's a weird move, alright. It's, like, a little bit weird. Like, if you're holding the button when the light goes off or whatever, it, like, goes down so quickly. But DS2 implemented a lot of really cool, unique things. But DS2 had really terrible gameplay that I did not like with the combat pacing and the combat mechanics. But they introduced power stancing and bonfire aesthetics and plus rings, which was a really good positive, contrastively. And then Bloodborne came out, and Bloodborne was just different. It was kind of like the unique one-off, where it was like, okay, like, you've grown very accustomed to tactically defensive gameplay, so now we're gonna, you know, flip it on its head and make you be really aggressive. And, like, that was kind of cool, so that gave it definition and variety, right? But, like, that's just the thing about Bloodborne, is it's not a franchise. It can't be a one-off, right? It can't be a franchise, it's a one-off. And then you have Sekiro, and Sekiro, instead of being, you know, a Souls-like or Bloodborne or whatever, it's like tactical defense and aggression, where, like, you're parrying everything. I really honestly am wishing that I had... Okay, this is gonna suck, but it's alright. I don't want to use 4 star power for this, but, like, it's worth it here. So like Sekiro was good, but like Sekiro was only good for a one-off. I really do honestly wish Sekiro would have gotten DLC, because I think the DLC could have been really cool. Like maybe having something like Ryomen Sukuna from Nioh 2, where it has like heavy weapons and light weapons and a ranged weapon, and then like fighting Tomoe with like the ability to conjure lightning and shit would have been awesome. Like a fight with Tomoe in the clouds or something would have been super cool. Like, Elden Ring is a good game, but it's not a 10 out of 10. Not for me, personally. It's like a 7 or an 8 on a good day. It has too many elements in it that fucking really get on my nerves for me to enjoy it as much as I do a lot of the other Souls games. Pity Flower. When Mario takes damage in battle, occasionally recover 1 FP. Cool, this is one of the badges that I've been waiting for. Thank fuck we got it. And it takes 3. Great. Okay, cool. I have something to sacrifice my other fire drive for, because I can't use it anyway. I don't have the FP to be able to accommodate that kind of level of damage, and I don't have the FP recovery, even though I have a massive amount of FP recovery. So we're going to equip Pity Flower instead, and we're going to see how good Pity Flower is. And I think there's only 1 Pity Flower in the game, but if I'm not correct about that, then we can stack Pity Flower, and that's going to be really good. Come on, dickhead. Stupid bastard. Oh, a spiked Buzzy, huh? How am I gonna take care of a spiked Buzzy? Oh, I know how I'm gonna take care of a spiked Buzzy. I'm just going to appeal with Koops and use my fucking art attack on it and kill it. Yeah, so check this out. I have partner appeal on for super appeal as well, and it's double stacked. So it's like, look at the star power recovery. It's just fucking absolutely ludicrously stupid how much you can break this game. And it's like one of my favorite things about it. Strategy really pays in this game. No, before you ask, I'm not going to draw a penis. Get over yourselves. Quit being 5. I might draw a pair of boobs, though. It might be a little bit easier to pull off with this control stick. Getting there. Okay, so these are now enemies from Chapter 6. Or Chapter 5. Yeah, so, like, we didn't get poison pokies throughout the whole game, so, like, this is an entirely new enemy that we're seeing right now. Oh wait, no it's not, because it's in Chapter, yeah, poison pokies are in Chapter 6, aren't they? Okay, I might be a little bit wrong about that. Let me use Fire Drive here. I think it's the best move. That's gonna blow up the big boy. 3 damage. Killed the pokey. And then... No, we don't need shell shield. I just need to... Oh, it's a spiked Buzzy, though. You know, honestly, I don't know how the hell I'm gonna deal with that. Okay, yes, I do know how I'm gonna deal with that, actually. I'm gonna be a smarty. Sucks to have to do this, but I really don't mind doing it. I really should just put Spike Shield on, honestly. That would kind of help circumvent this whole thing. I need to appeal with Koops again. And then I have to use another art attack. As much as I really don't want to, I have to use another art attack here. There we go. I don't have any way to kill a spiked Parabuzzy other than art attacking it. Oh, that's not good. It's like the control stick for the Switch Pro controller is so much more sensitive than the GameCube, so it's just like, it's really odd to use. Art attack is another really good ability. See, like in Paper Mario 1, the star points, like the star power nodes, are nowhere near as handy. And I feel like they're better executed in this game, like they're a little bit more definitive and a little bit more varied and a little bit more dynamic. Okay, we're getting bubbles now, that's good. If we're getting bubbles, I don't want to use Vivian. I do want ice power though if we're starting to get bubbles, because that means we're going to start coming across more and more bubbles. And I do remember there being far more prominence of bubbles in the later levels of the pit. But we're already halfway through the pit and it's only been an hour, so that's good. That's good time. So we're not doing bad. Okay, I don't need to use any of that because these guys don't have defense, so I don't have to waste FP. Let me use... Yeah, you know what? I'll just use Fire Drive and kill these two fucking clowns. And heal the fucking idiot in the middle. I don't really mind that. Sorry, Coops. Sorry again, Coops. I suck. My fault, buddy. He'll live. It's fine. It's just a lot of fire. It's okay. Okay, he's dead. I like how Coops does 5 with the regular. Oh, I could really use that. Of course. I could really use that, but that's alright. Would have been a really good time for it. I'm super far off from a level 2. I'm not getting another level for a good another, like, maybe, like, 35 fights. Depending on what the later floors have. Okay, we're getting there, though. Like I said, the pit is a little bit more menacing than it actually is. It only gets really menacing on the later floors. Like, once you get past floor 50, that's where it kind of starts to get a little bit rough, but it's not terrible. And then, like, floor 80 is kind of like, okay, this is kind of batshit. Okay, so let's see. Wait, what floor is this? This is level 44? Okay, let's get to the fun stuff. Let's go down 5. We have plenty of coins to do it. This is also kind of the gimmick to the Pit of 100 Trials that makes it a little bit easier, is being able to move floors like this. Like, if they didn't have this guy here, it'd be a little bit more arduous, but I still don't think it'd be, like, absurdly bad or anything. Okay, it's just nothing but pokies. Okay, this is fine. They are gonna be dead so fast. Give me hearts. Give me flower regeneration, god damn it. I don't need that right now, I need hearts. Okay, let's use Fire Drive. Boop. That didn't kill all of them? Alright, fine. This is why I stack so much FP regen. Because then I can just use Power Shell for 1 FP and fucking hit every target and do a ton of damage. Just kill everything super easily. No, come to think of it, I don't really need 3 Fire Drives. Like, 3 Fire Drives seems a little bit excessive. Like, the BP expenditure is a little bit over the top, and the FP is certainly most definitely over the top, and it's kind of unnecessary. Like, you don't really need it. I think every target has an average enough amount of HP to the point where, like, it's not really a desire to go any higher than 2. You got a strange sack, an item that lets you carry up to 20 items. Well, 19 items, because the item sack is taking up one of the item slots. Okay, yeah, everything is, like, so much more expensive than it used to be. We're gonna need money for the mover, so let's save our money. And let's head down to floor 51.